Greetings. There is no sponsorship this time for our great podcast. Instead, we have a customary moment of fuck in order to avoid being child friendly. So please appreciate with us this moment. Fuck.
Cunt.
Dick.
Bitch.
Vagina.
Pussy.
Holocaust.
Slut. Skank. Whore.
Nazi.
Hey, whoa, man. There's a limit.
Wait. Did we reach the point where it became demonetized?
I'm pretty sure we already were demonetized a long time ago. That's why we opened our Patreon. Subscribe to Darkrai Q8.
I am so sorry for my behavior. I never thought. How did the Twitch bitches do it? Like, how did they beg for forgiveness?
I think if you're Deller, you make an apology video in which like you go out to Goodwill and you buy a dress shirt just for that occasion, just to make an apology video. You know, rub some water on your face to make it feel like you feel sorry for yourself and for what you've done. If you're one of the boob streamers, then you just go, I am so sorry for my behavior. In fact, I am so sorry that I want to eat this banana that I have over here. Very close to the camera. And then they accidentally choke on it. And before long, Twitch is like, okay, we forgive you. We know that you fed your cat vodka and then threw it over your shoulder, but that's fine. You know, let bygones be bygones.
Now, the reason we gave you guys our great segment. Also, shut up, man. The comment section. I see you saying Greta's. Is Climate Girl Bitch Person of the Year?
Oh, yeah.
She is?
Yeah, she won Time's Person of the Year. And
okay, well, bitches, welcome to the Soul Grinder.
Well, hold on a second. Hold it down. I would have been upset about this at first too. However, you have to understand how Time works. Time picks their Person of the Year completely on an editorial basis, meaning that there's probably one person in the editor's room that starts a poll, right? And then they end up, and then they, like, the people in the studio or in the newspaper, they vote on it. And then once there's only like a select few options, and it's never like a public opinion. There's no voting from like a wide variety of sources. It's just this particular news outlet and probably a select few individuals select who is going to be potentially the Person of the Year. I'm willing to bet that's how they do it. Either it's a completely editorial decision and somebody at the top decides, yeah, I want to put Greta Thunberg up there. Or there's somebody who sends out like an email survey and they're like, who would you put as Person of the Year to their however many employees they have? And Greta just happened to have won because, well, it doesn't surprise me. Time did a bunch of pieces on her. She said and did all the things that they wanted from her. So might as well reward the puppet, right?
No, fuck that.
Well, obviously, fuck that, but
no, because I think there were better candidates for Person of the Year, even in cringe. I don't think climate change girl, Mr. Greta Thunberg or something.
You don't know her name yet still? How dare you?
Dude, there are better cringe candidates. Think of it. Is Trigglypuff from this fucking year? Or was she last year?
On Greta? I think she came on the scene this year, right?
No, not Greta. Trigglypuff.
Who the hell is that? The Pokemon?
No, it's based on the Pokemon. It's that feminist, that fat feminist who was like,
And she's
well,
based off Jigglypuff, right?
yeah, yep,
The
and
fat
she's like,
singing Pokemon.
take your hate speech off this campus, take this hate speech off this
Oh,
campus, and she's,
her. The
yeah, that
moon.
one, yeah, yeah, like was she from this year? She deserves Person of the Year.
She deserves Person of the Decade, my guy. Oh, that's a meme that will live on for ages.
And you know who else who deserves Person of the Year? Um, that bitch on that Australian panel that Jordan Peterson was on, who said with a straight face and did not flinch for a second that she's both a Christian and a Marxist. That's Person of the Year because the ability to actually supersede paradoxes, you know, that's something to give Person of the Year for. Greta's too basic, too bland, no flavor.
And I will say I'm disappointed in this editorial decision because we've seen Time put Kanye as the Person of the Year. So we know they're willing to take risks. But this year, I guess they really wanted to play it safe. They've put they've put Kanye on the cover. They've put Trump on the cover. Time is no stranger. They're not shy when it comes to controversial decisions. So why this one was the case this time around for someone that was in the spotlight for like, what, a day, right? She went to the UN and spoke. It was noble, but I mean, at the end of the day, you
No,
have
it
to
wasn't.
remember that she's only serving as a mouthpiece for what. And this, I'm very upset with the adults that are taking advantage of her, frankly, because that's what she's serving as, is a mouthpiece for others and their own agendas.
No, I don't like the victim narrative. Well, I
Well,
know
there's
she's
that
being
too.
used, but I I I know she's being used. Don't get me wrong, but that does not mean she is blameless. You know, you can get the memo at 12, okay? If you read, if you I know she has mental disabilities. I don't care. Okay? Everybody's to blame. I'm not a person who likes looking at a victim and being like, "Oh, if only we could help them." That's what fucked Africa. You know, the Americans, you know, all these soccer moms just going like this. Oh, if only we can help the starving children by giving them everything. No, none of that. We do like the United States did to Great Britain for the first 4 years of World War II. Just give them stuff because it's not our fight yet. So you guys take some tools and go ahead and you fight. Fuck you. Not our problem.
Dude, how about those cringy commercials that come up? It started with pets. It started with pets that needed adoption, right? And it's like for $1 a year or like $1 a month, you can support this starving animal, or you can adopt it yourself. And now they fluctuated with the prices. Now it's like for 18 cents a week or something. You can support a starving, but it's not a pet anymore. It's not a dog or a cat. It's a starving child in Africa or Uganda or like all these and it to me that it does not seem authentic because I've always seen those commercials as parodies. Truth be told, they put on the sad music, they put on really sad imagery, and they expect to hit you in the feels. And the first time they do, especially with the pets, oh, people were bawling their eyes out the first time they saw those commercials. You know, watching the TV screen and then like minutes later calling their best friend, did you know that for $1.50 a month, I can save that little poodle? There has to be something. I don't believe it. I don't believe that, especially those outrageous ones. Like, I don't believe that for 30 cents a month, you are truthfully helping this child, right? If everyone who ever watched the commercial ever chimed in 30 cents, sure, you could buy that kid a lot of new stuff, actually. But the idea that you in particular, you as an individual, are going to help a person out, a child, with 30 cents a month is insulting. And the people that buy into it should feel ashamed of themselves. How dare you fall for such a? It's not even a scam. It's like I don't doubt that the money goes to the kids, or somehow reaches the kids. But it's like for 30 cents? Dude, that's insulting. Do you really think you're making a difference with 30 cents?
Well, it's a matter of principle, right? If you can brag about doing something good, then that's all you need, really. So
There's
paying
nothing
30
cool
cents to
about
brag.
bragging about 30. Yeah, you know what I did today? I donated 30 cents to my
Well,
pen pal in Uganda.
you never say that you've how much you paid. You hide behind the principle of you're not supposed to say how much you paid, and you give the 30 just to make it true, right? 30 cents, and now I donated to charity. I mean, that the situation, and then you continue to describe their plight in order to convert another 30 cents guy. And because both of you know you pay 30 cents, you don't actually specify the amount. You just keep it between you and just brag to the rest.
Dude, my biggest problem is the people that do this with the intention of contracting some good karma on their side, right?
Oh
You know
yeah,
the people
oh
that
yeah,
do. You know the people that like give homeless people something, like they're walking down the street and they give a homeless person some change, and they're
yeah,
convinced they don't do it out of the goodness of their heart. They do it because they're convinced they're going to be repaid now. Like life is going to
yeah.
pay them forward somehow, and it might. But you don't go around the rest of the day with your chest held high, strutting like you did something, right?
Actually, I heard this once. I don't know where I heard it. Was it online or was it a movie? I'm not sure, but I think it was online, and it was something like something bad happened to a YouTuber or something, and she's like, why would this happen to me? I'm a good person. I give stuff to the poor. I help people out at the shop." And like, there's a positive correlation between doing something good and getting something good. And I remember I was like, it was in the early days of YouTube. So 15, I was 15, 14 that time. And I remember looking at that and I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. Is that how that works? And then I went and naturally asked my dad and told me, no, that's not how it works. And the problem was resolved. But I bet the problem hasn't resolved for most people. They still think that's the case. They think if they do something good, that makes them special. And because they are special now, they get to do whatever, or the good is going to come to them. So if you want to, everybody knows, if you want to get that bestseller, all you have to do is give a little bit of change to the poor.
No, it's not
Then you're,
even they feel special. It's worse. They feel entitled that they earn that
yeah,
life
fair enough.
repays them somehow. It's
Mhm.
karma is actually such an interesting dynamic to discuss with people because there are different ways people interpret it. In theory, it's supposed to be a simple concept. You do something nice and something nice is done to you somehow, right? Somehow, somewhere, some place down the road. But a lot of people interpret it as, or a lot of people develop an ego due to it. And I think that's the whole opposite effect of karma at face value. Like you don't go doing something with the intention of earning something in rehearse or in reward for it. Otherwise, that's called business. That's not called charity.
And if you want to turn charity into a business, there are a lot of business models that want to have you, that are interested in hiring you. So,
The church.
well, yep.
I'm sorry, am I starting to make sense? Don't
Oh shit.
demonetize us
Oh
again.
no. Speaking of, let's talk Kappa, because that's why we got that intro. Um, is YouTube's laws that will be effective on the 1st of January that will basically popularize the idea of YouTube Kids. But instead of leaving it in fucking YouTube Kids, they're gonna take YouTube Kids and punish the adults for it. And for people who don't know, YouTube paid $117 million fine to the FCC and for violating child. Um, yes, that's a great reaction, Nikki Bean. There you go. That is the 2009 response to anything related to children. If you don't say this, you're a pedophile. Straight on.
Dude, I hate how kids determine what's cool. Like kids determine for the entirety of society what everyone else has to pretend to like. Have you noticed that? It's so annoying. Why are we listening to the dumbest, lowest common denominator? Like, it's nice to cater to kids, right? They're kids. Let them watch Frozen. But
here's the funny part.
Don't for a second lie to yourself and say, like, that's the movie of the year. Or, I had so much fun. Do you know how many parents are dreading having to go see that movie? Which, by the way, it's not that bad. But if you're really not in the mood to see it, don't force yourself.
So, did you let it go? Number 2, Louis?
They had a couple songs that sounded like it.
But nothing cut the magic, huh?
Nah, Let It Go's the OG. That's the original. Come on,
all right, fair enough.
The original.
But that's besides the point. You're right on the children part. Throughout history, children. Oh, well, Louis, what do you say to this? Do we bring him in again?
What does Siri say? Last time she said no, and we went against her ruling.
Yeah, it depends on what the establishment does not want from us. We're anti-establishment. We're anarchists here.
It depends on what the advanced AI thinks of a person. Flip a coin.
Heads.
I need to do it again. I didn't assign a decision to either one. All right. Heads is he joins. Tails is he doesn't. Flip a coin.
Tails.
Let's try this again. Heads or tails?
You're doing a government. What the fuck?
What is the probability of a coin landing tails 7 times in a row? My bad.
Siri.
Flip a coin.
I'm sorry.
Apple shit. Do you know that?
Ouch.
Have I said that enough?
She really doesn't want you to join. Last chance. Flip a coin.
It's heads.
There we go. What did he say? Heads was he joins?
I have no idea. The link is there.
We got every conceivable possibility that we could have gotten from that little social experiment there. So he better come in.
Now, okay, let me continue my point before I forget it. Kids throughout history, yes, were always considered a nuisance to the adult world. If you're the mother, he's your world, or she's your world, the kid. But if you're actually, hello there.
Hello.
But to society in general, kids were always a nuisance because you had to take care of them, and they weren't grateful, and everything sucks.
Wow, you're gonna make a great parent.
As a parent, you're gonna love them to death, but for society,
here's the thing: everyone collectively understands that. Just not for what the. Does everyone want to join now? Nick, okay, you don't even have a mic, bro. Shut up.
You got to talk in the chat long enough, and then you can get a chance to join.
You earn your stripes. Yeah, Nick,
you got to get your stripes in the chat first.
All right. Lewi, it's up to you. This is your friend, right? You take care of it.
He doesn't have a mic. He cannot contribute anything to the conversation unless he does the stupid text-to-speech things, and he's just going to type out sexual innuendos.
That's horrible.
My point? Kids, yeah, they suck, yes. But everybody knows they suck. Nobody really says it out loud, though. Everyone just kind of tolerates them because even though everyone collectively understands that they suck, everyone also collectively understands that you can't do anything against them because they're kids. It's like a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, but when did it become the internet's responsibility to protect kids? That's the question.
I mean, this has been going on since before even the internet with the television. Television is America's favorite babysitter.
But I swear, life would be so much better, right? As far as I'm concerned, if people did their job and stopped being lazy about it. If parents stopped being lazy about being parents, if teachers stopped being lazy about being teachers and using PowerPoint, things would be generally progressing.
I am sick and tired of your PowerPoint slander,
Fuck
Mr. I
you,
just
Louis.
choked on vape.
Fuck you. There are three things that are like the devil spawn. Okay.
I know the death of
Apple,
education to you is PowerPoint. I don't get
Apple, China, and PowerPoint. These are the three things that we should kill.
Who remembers overhead projectors?
I like
I do.
those.
I
But
love those.
Elementary
PowerPoint
school,
is a
man.
superior version of them.
The good old overhead
No, they're
projector.
not. No, they're not, because they were a hassle. And so
Now,
when the
smart screens. Now that is a disaster waiting to happen.
I lived
Smartboards.
my last course in high school, which was 5 years ago, had a smart screen in the labs. It was the beta version. They put it, and I swear to God, it's the most annoying, stupid, ridiculous, scary thing that they've ever put in our educational system here in Kuwait.
Oh, were
It's
they
horrifying.
Were they like the whiteboards with the pen that always made the blurry lines? Like it was never like solid.
No, bro, how many people accidentally wrote on the smartboard with the real marker?
Did not
fuck
happen.
that, dude.
$1,200 of an investment down the drain. Easy.
No, the way that happened for us is half the lecture was the educator fucking up, and I was like, "Oh dear, where's the erase button?" You know, like a boomer. Like, where? I've never done this before. I am a teacher. I have read books. I have done exams. What is this? You know, and sure, it was good for us, but we didn't learn anything. The lab just took longer, and that's horrifying. However, back to Kappa. Let's focus on Kappa.
Oh, back to PowerPoint. You have not defended yourself yet.
Defended what? PowerPoint is horrifying. You want to
No, it's
sleep? You
not.
go to a PowerPoint lecture.
That is your opinion.
No, it's not. I have facts. I have objectivity, and
Some would say these are alternative facts.
oh, go die, fucking Hassan, you Arab piece of shit. How
AR
dare you?
ab money. He changed it to money.
Okay, Kappa. Don't try to distract me from what actually matters.
No
Look.
cap. We about to talk about Kappa. Okay, let's go.
So, evidently, what YouTube is doing right now is, if you're child friendly, you can't get to comment, you don't get a story, you don't get a community page, and you don't get targeted ads, losing 90% of your income. That's if they consider you as child friendly, and if you labeled yourself as not child friendly, and the FCC decides that you are, that is a $42,000 fine. And generally, FCC doesn't have the budget to attack every single conceivable YouTuber, so they'll hit the big guys. They'll hit Jake Paul. They probably hit the Pewds, stuff like that, if they don't comply. And it's based on a 10-factor analysis, and the 10 factors are kind of suck. They're arbitrary, right? So what happens here is that YouTube paid 170 million. They don't want to do it again. So in response, they're going to basically kill their platform and the ability for people to make revenue from it. And to me, that is a ridiculous decision, and it's going to come out on January 1st. So the question here is, what's going to happen to YouTube after January 1st?
You see, the thing about Jews is oh, bro, start any responsible conversation like that and just pause after the Jew part.
And people will either start paying attention or they'll freak out.
Or they'll fill
it's
the
one or
blank.
the other. Yeah, it's like, go on.
I have my
Especially if
undivided
you're Arabs.
attention now.
Dude, Trump got trending in Kuwait because he attacked he made a comment about, what was it? He called like the investors or some money people, that he called them, they're brutal killers, right? In an interview, and people like freaked out. And what happened? Yeah, so the entirety of the Arab world started forwarding this. See, he hates the Jews too, despite everything he did in the past. Like, that doesn't matter. He said Jews bad, and I'm like, wait, he did not specify that they were Jew. Hold on. But they wanted to be Jews so bad because the Arabs, the second you say Jew bad, they're like, yeah.
It's true.
It is indeed. I love that. But yeah, what do you guys think? What's going to happen to YouTube on January 1st? What does Kappa do to us? Because this is, from my description, this is horrifying for any YouTuber.
I think let's start with a positive, because I know there's a lot of negatives about Kappa. I think one good thing Kappa will do is it'll get rid of a bunch of bloatware channels, troll channels, basically channels that don't do anything, like a lot of troll accounts. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe one of the rules is that if you don't have any form of content, like, your channel will get deleted after a certain amount of time.
That's already there. If you don't use your channel for a long time, they consider you as a fake account, and then they just delete you.
You mean like comments? Like if all you do is post comments and all you do is watch YouTube, but you don't actually post to YouTube, could you get deleted?
No.
All right.
It's just if you're super inactive. You
Doesn't
don't
say
watch
a
videos.
lot of people just had a sigh of relief there.
Yeah, that's been in effect for a long time. That's not due to Kappa. The Kappa is specifically about the kids thing.
Yeah, I think Kappa will get rid of a lot of troll accounts, though.
No, what they'll get rid of, I don't know whether they will or not, but what they'll get rid of specifically is all those daddy shark do 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 daddy shark do 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 do. This will lose a ton of their income, so their popularity.
Johnny.
Ugh.
Dude, you know what I'm curious of? Like, because at the moment there seems to be a very obvious dichotomy and a separation between kids content versus non-kids content. But I'm wondering, like, what's gonna fall in the middle?
And get us off. That's the question, right? And like, guys, don't hug me. I'm scared, right?
No.
It's a cartoon on YouTube that is super edgy and creepy. When you watch it, you want to go back to your bed and you want to shake, right? But it's a cartoon, and if you use Kappa's 10-factor analysis, it checks everyone as child-friendly, but it's not. So what happens there? And the question is, what happens to animation channels who give real-life stories but animate them in a cute style? Are these child-friendly now? What happens to Minecraft channel who cuss and generally have an adult audience, or kids that want to hear adult screaming? Are these guys kid-friendly now? Like, that's the question that comes whenever it gets to the gray area. What do you do with the Kappa law?
Here's the biggest gray area. What happens to the kids that are trying way too hard to mature and be edgy, right? And the preteens as they're making their transition to teenager, adolescence, and YouTube was a big part of that. When I was, it sounds weird saying transitioning, but when I was getting older at those years, like, YouTube was the edge central. It's where a lot of people I know went to find out what was popping, what's the new hot thing, who to watch, right? We got into Filthy Frank when he was a big deal and when he was like the king of the edge lords.
I'm gonna be honest, I never really watched Filthy Frank.
You don't need to be fair to because if you watch one episode or if you watch one video, you've seen all of them.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. I watched that hair cake.
I think, yeah.
And I got the gist.
I think what he represents, though, for a certain generation is that the internet was indeed meant to host that type of content. Like, if there's any place where that type of content was going to exist, it had to be YouTube. It had to be the internet. And now we don't know.
Now, like, it's a troubling time because demonetization will hit you if you're too edgy, but if you're too child-friendly, Kappa will hit you. And so you operate in YouTube in the small gray area where you hope for the best. So and me and Louis talked about this. The future of video is probably like if you don't do like extremely edgy content, but you still want to like survive the Kappa thing. That you'll have like a segment in the beginning or the middle of your video going like, right now for a customary moment to trick the YouTube algorithm. Fuck, shit, fuck, cunt. And then you keep on going to the video. And that segment is what saves you from entering into the kids part and keeps you getting some ad revenue.
Yeah, bro, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would be willing to keep posting to YouTube after this.
Yeah.
Like,
well, on average, how much are people even really making from YouTube ad revenue anyway, compared to like their merch or Patreon, etc.? Sources outside.
Well, I think they made a reasonable amount, that not enough as before where they can live off it, but it still helped. Now that's gone. There is no that's done with. That's done.
I don't even from what I remember, I don't even think that YouTube money craze when it first happened, I don't even think it lasted 6 months from what I remember. Like when YouTube money first became a thing and people were getting crazy checks.
Yeah,
I forget how short it was.
The adpocalypse hit hard, and a lot of people made Patreon. When Patreon just took money away from YouTube, that's basically what happened. And then, what's its name? Now targeted ads will most likely go for most people, and that's 90% of your income. So on YouTube. So will there be incentive to stay on YouTube or move somewhere like Twitch where you can make more money, or a new platform that supports this shit better? Probably. This is the perfect opportunity for any channel or any investor or company that wants to create a video platform. It's the perfect opportunity for them. Is the 1st of January. The second that strikes and everybody's angry, there's more incentive to move out into something better.
What do you think the original creators of YouTube think about the current state of YouTube?
I don't know. Let's invite the annoying orange Fred, if he still posts, and Niga Higa into this live stream, and let's get their take.
I feel like if there's anyone who would actually comment on it, it would be probably Shane Dawson, even though he's adapted heavily to what YouTube has become, completely altered his content. But I think if there's anyone that would be willing to discuss the current state of YouTube, it would be Shane Dawson.
You think he's been around long enough to remember like all the different eras and changes?
Oh yeah, I think he's lived through them. He's struggled through them. He's made content through them, and now he's at a place where YouTube's never necessarily stable, for obvious reasons. But I think he's at a point now where he's found his niche, but he still makes controversial content. Like he just released a documentary series on like a transgender person, right? And there's a lot of personal anecdotes that are controversial, to say the least, that may not fit properly in the child-friendly space.
So is it like a full operation type of, or is it just I am this thing, not that thing type of
pronouns?
What's that? It's, I think his name is Geoffrey Star. It might, I need to look this up. Is it Geoffrey Star, or it's like it was a big deal like a few weeks ago. He released a couple documentary series on her or him. I don't. Jeffrey Epstein is the first one that comes up.
Because it's a very big difference for me. Because if you say you're this gender or that gender and you didn't do the operation, there is no biological basis to your claim, so I can make fun of you. But if there is a biological census to your claim, I would just be creeped out and I would run away instead.
Yeah, it's a YouTuber name. He made a documentary series on a YouTuber called Geoffrey Star, who is a makeup artist, cosmetics creator, a singer, and a songwriter. But he looks, I'm gonna go with he because Jeffrey's a guy's name. Let's be real. He looks like a transgender woman. He looks like he's failed miserably at that, but he looks like one. And I think he's also gay, and so like there's that situation as well. And so Shane
Yeah, so
goes in depth.
I'm a woman, but straight. I'm a straight woman.
Like he goes, yeah, like Shane goes to great lengths to try to decipher what exactly and why exactly this person has gone through the controversial past on the internet and YouTube in particular that they have. And so I've been told it's an interesting documentary series. I just have no interest in watching it whatsoever because I don't care about Shane Dawson's content anymore. But I think if there's anyone that's adapted to what YouTube has become, it would be him. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens January 1st to his channel.
I bet I know the unified response that any old school YouTuber will tell you. Things were better in 2008.
Still, though, like what's going to happen to pre-existing videos?
That's the big question. That's why some people deleted their channels based off this because they're afraid of that $42,000 fine because it is per offense. So it's one video. So
honestly, regarding videos, I think eventually YouTube is going to have to just start deleting videos, like because there's only so many servers they can build and maintain because YouTube isn't profitable for Google. Period. YouTube is always losing money. It isn't a profit for them. So at what point are they going to decide, okay, we need to start thinning the herd when it comes to what videos we're going to keep uploaded for people?
Delete the reactionists.
Because Twitch tried doing that too.
But they need to, well, Twitch does technically do that, right? They hold your video or they hold your broadcast for 60 days. You or your viewers have that long to download it. Your viewers technically aren't supposed to be able to download it, but let's be real, they can. They find ways, but I think
they put them on YouTube.
Here's what I do if I was YouTube. If you really want to just like send everyone away, but you want to make a statement, you up the copyright claims and you get rid of all the reaction videos because essentially that's content being posted twice, right? There's the original content and then there's people reacting to the original content, and most reactions aren't worth it. And it's something that I don't know how much it's profiting them. A lot of people make reaction videos, but a lot of people just kind of want to watch the original video, unless they're lonely, right? And they're like jinxed, then they want to watch a video.
They want to help lonely people not feel alone.
Yes.
He said that in a video explaining himself when everyone called him out for just taking people's content. Because that's all he used to do. He never used to render it or edit it any different.
No informative commentary or review or discussion. None of that.
Yeah, he was the face of the original. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah, imagine making a living off that, And so it's.
Do you think there's people out there who actually bought Jinx merch?
I think there's a special place in hell for people that have done it.
There's always that one guy. There's a special
let me correct myself. There's a special place in an insane asylum for people like that. Imagine having to explain that to someone too. That's been the part that always gets me. Is like you don't buy YouTube merch unless you're extremely proud of what they put out. Because the YouTuber is obviously going to be proud of what they put out.
Yeah, I was in a really bad place. I was lonely. Jinx, he just helped me get through that rough spot in my life,
And somebody's going to listen to that, and they're going to be like, maybe I should go check out this Jinx guy. They go and look him up, and they're like, what the fuck is this? This dude just watches videos. That's it.
No, dude. The thing about T-shirts on YouTube, and I'm kind of jealous of the States because if I want to get a T-shirt from a YouTuber, I have to pay like for international shipping, and that's not fun. But the best thing about T-shirts is sometimes YouTubers bring out pretty dope T-shirts with a lot of good like designs and content on them. Okay, and I don't get a chance to do that. I don't know about Jinx's T-shirts, but I would love to get. And I still say we need an ERB T-shirt, and what it has to say is pose poems, poem posers. I need that T-shirt.
It's a great line. You might be able to go on Redbubble maybe and like make it yourself, or Zazzle or something. I don't
It's
think
not
they
the
care.
same. It's not the same. I want like a dope Edgar Allan Poe design with glasses and like thug chains, and I want him doing this and having the poem posers, and I walk around, and people are confused. Am I a classical lyricist or a fan of rap? They don't because they don't know ERB. I want that.
That just reminds me of like the t-shirts kids used to wear in middle school with like gangster SpongeBob or gangster Bugs Bunny with like the blunt in one hand and the gun in the other hand with the chain.
That, and people used to put that as like their phone wallpapers.
Gangster SpongeBob.
And that's why we need to protect our kids. We need to protect our kids from gangster SpongeBob. That's why Kappa exists.
No, but hold on. How do you think those kids found? How do you think I was part of that we were all part of that generation. How do you think
I wasn't.
Gangster Elmo versus Barney.
How do you think we found all that though? YouTube. Remember those videos on YouTube that were just pictures, like montages of gangster cartoon characters? You know, and they were always like crossing their arms like this, and they always looked really short for some reason.
I wasn't part of this. When did this happen?
Dude, this was like 08 days.
Back in 08, my presence in YouTube was basically a bridge series. I loved that shit back in the day.
It was those shirts and the shirts that were like the list shirts. Hassan, do you remember the list shirts? Like the shirts where
eat, sleep, video games?
Yeah, things I'd rather do instead of doing my homework. And it's like play video games, like drink, eat pizza, a bunch of stupid shit, bro.
Okay, this is pretty dope. This is actually pretty dope.
Obviously, the shirts weren't as extravagant as this particular photo, but you get the idea of what that era was.
Right.
Yes.
This is what it would be.
This is it. This is exactly. Imagine this on a shirt. Now imagine videos with like 50 of these back to back, just as a montage, 5 seconds each. It was how a lot of people started learning how to make videos in like Windows Movie Maker. You started just putting picture after picture. You put individual transitions, and the video lasted like 8 minutes of just pictures you found on the internet.
That's okay.
It has a special place in everyone's heart, Julian.
Yeah, now I'm like, I feel like that guy who never got into Star Wars where everybody was, and now everybody of my generation knows Star Wars except me, and I can never get that same magic. So like, it's such a shame. I would have loved to be a kid and have that.
These are good times, man. You could spend hours on YouTube and just let the time fly by. So much good content.
I mean, I still do that to this day.
It's not the same.
It's harder though. It's not the same. Like back then, you could literally click video after video for hours, and every video would have been enjoyable to some degree.
That's true. Now I've noticed myself. I have to take more breaks with YouTube.
I have to skip through so many videos now before I find a halfway decent one. I almost never had to skip a video. I would just watch this video, watch the next video, watch the next video, because they were all pretty good.
People's expectations were a lot lower too, though. I think that has something to do with it. Is like back in those days, you were content to watch someone just sitting in their room or in their basement and like trying to yell over some poorly added music in the background. Just vlogging about something, whatever. They could be talking about whatever.
My name is Jalen.
Videos were shorter.
My name is Jalen, and I am a Super Saiyan.
What the?
You've never seen that video? Oh my god! Lewi, he's never seen that video. He's never seen that video.
Someone has to share that. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Now, okay, I think the reason YouTube was more tolerable back in the day is because nobody wanted to hit the 10-minute mark. Nobody cared. So 6 minutes were 6 minutes. They weren't 6 minutes stretched to 10 minutes. I think that's the difference. But since to me, I consider 20 minutes a short video, a quickie. So when I click on a 20-minute video, I can keep watching those 20-minute videos for hours without worry. I guess that's the difference here.
Like the amount of people that shamelessly try to stretch their videos out to 10 minutes is kind of absurd now because it puts two things into perspective. One, it's a flawed system. It's flawed having like 10 minutes be the threshold for what videos need to be in order for people to have any chance of making money from it, which will be less starting January. But it also points out how incompetent people are to like not be able to talk about a subject matter for 10 minutes. I appreciate it if the subject matter does not require 10 minutes, but there's sometimes where like I've seen videos of like World War II overviews and they're like 7 minutes long. And I'm just like, there's something about that time for that particular subject that rubs me the wrong way. It's like 7 minutes is not enough to briefly summarize it, but it's also not enough to like go in depth enough.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing people have a challenge of is trying to balance like the spontaneousness of a live stream, like just us talking right now, and like the structure of planning, because you don't want to structure a video and then your 10-15 minute video sounds too robotic either.
Oh, story, or it used to be the story of my life, bro. And this is how I feel like this is how commentary channels got started, because people had a script or they had a structure, they had notes, and then they would just talk over it. But you can tell when a commentary channel is just getting started because they either don't know how to talk for 5 minutes at a time, or you can tell they're reading off a script, and it's painful because that's not the YouTube charm.
Yeah, the problem is trying to balance like the spontaneousness of a stream of consciousness discussion with the structure of a plan and notes and rehearsal.
I mean, what I did with my own channel is I would get like a headliner, and that would be the entirety of the topic, and then I would see if I can do it for 10 minutes, right? If I can just improvise the topic for 10 minutes, breaking it down.
The King of Lightning video style.
Yeah, it's to me that's the content I like to watch. Just a person talking and exploring a thought with you. Whenever I see too many jump cuts or I see somebody reading off a script, to me I get like, ugh, okay. He's just using his voice. That's all there is to it. He might as well use a text to voice translator or generator and just use that instead. It's the same effect.
You want to feel like someone's talking to you instead of at you. Yep.
The less prepared it is, the better. Even if it's an educational video, I like for example Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, because in his podcast what he does is he does a ton of research and he has a bunch of footnotes near him, and then he describes what happens. Like, let me tell you what happened. So this happened, that happened, and that happened. And what that feels like is like, you have that one friend who's too into history, and now you brought the topic of the Aztecs, and he has to tell you about it.
But it has the enthusiasm that would have been removed from trying to stick too close to a script.
Precisely.
Well, what is that educational channel that it's made by like those two guys with glasses that they do like educational videos?
Is it the one who the ones that did Crash Course?
Crash Course.
Crash Course.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the videos I used to watch in elementary school with like the orange robot and the other guy?
Brain Pop.
Brain Pop.
Bro,
Brain Pop.
Gold.
Oh my god.
It's still around. They still update, if you can believe that.
Wait, do they make new Brain Pop content still?
I'm pretty sure someone showed me like a year ago. Their website's still up. Watch it be down now that I'm looking for it.
No, Nicky Bean, just go to Trillium Packs, the channel. You'll find my content.
Yeah, it's still there.
Good luck.
They have Christmas deals for stuff.
Oh, you have to pay for Brain Pop?
I think it used to be free. There might be a subscription service now. Yeah, you can buy or you can request a demo for these things. Or is that just for the merch?
It should be just the merch.
Oh, it's a teacher and a family plan for...
That's what happens when public education funding goes down the drain.
Yeah, because I know that there were a few of my teachers that would use it religiously, and there were other teachers that didn't. And when a lot of people liked it, so we would ask the teachers to watch Brain Pop, and they'd be like, "No, I don't I don't want to, or I don't have it.
Yeah,
So,
but BrainPop would have like little quizzes throughout, and then a final quiz just to make sure you were actually paying attention to the videos too. So that was good.
mhm.
It wasn't like you were just turning off your brain for the class.
It was perfect for 4th grade. I think that's where I got into it. 4th and 5th grade. Watched a lot of this. It's perfect for when you're a teacher and you just feel lazy for the day.
Yeah, just watch this. It's a video, guys. Everybody gets excited because they don't get to hear the teacher talk for like 10 minutes. I love that. It never happened to us. We never watched stuff. We watched in college, but never in school. There were mainly because there isn't Arabic content. They have to explain it in Arabic. But I love the education channels, man. I love education channels, but I have one that I despise to my core. A channel called ASAP Science. And
I used
that
to like
channel, dude, the sound of that fucking like fag, that's what pisses me off. You know, don't
which one?
bring you the one with the lisp. The
Oh.
lisp pisses me off, man.
I don't.
I can't.
The you know what those videos are good for? They're good for finding that one fact that you can regurgitate to everyone that day and sound like you
there are
found
better
in a Wikipedia page somewhere.
there are better channels out there to get information out of that are just as short and are actually funny. Not that. That channel is dumb, and they brought one of the worst arguments in existence at one video that really turned me off. They basically like what did they say? Yeah, the Greeks were innovators, but when the Romans came, they didn't innovate anything. And that's why you should always go for innovation. And every guy who read history or is even slightly familiar is like, what the fuck? What? Where did you come out of? And they like showered the comments with like hate comments and because it was wrong, plainly wrong. So how can I trust your content when you don't even research minuscule facts, you piece of shit?
Yeah. I mean, creativity and innovation is important, but they have the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, for a reason as well.
You know what the best education channel is out there? ZFrank01, which you know is an OG YouTuber because he never changed that. And what he does nature commentary. And those nature commentaries are the best shit ever. Okay? Because he takes like Discovery Channel documentaries and he just comments on them. That is beautiful. And
I need to
learn.
check them out.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna give you the grasshopper one. Which
The
is
one if I watch nature videos, the guy it usually is Coyote Peterson, Brave Wilderness, the guy who lets him get stung by everything all the time. That's the one I've been watching for the past year or two.
Who's that guy that was just in a fight and he does like nature videos? He was just in an altercation the other day, but he's known for his nature commentaries on YouTube.
I'm not sure.
He's the guy that like he's very friendly with deer. Like he just walks around and starts talking to deer.
Oh, is that the guy from the Vines who like feeds deer?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like an actual YouTube channel. I know who you're talking about.
I think he's transitioned to YouTube, right? When Vine died, everyone came to YouTube.
Well, I mean, they have TikTok now. TikTok is basically Vine.
Okay, guys. Here it is. You guys ready?
Yes.
Meet Marvin. Marvin is a very cute leafhopper in the family Psychedelidae. Marvin's a bit of a show-off. Put your tongue back in your...
Oh, I know who this guy is.
Oh my God! Pause it. Look at the bottom right-hand corner, my guy. Dude, he's got the Movie Maker default fucking font.
I know who this guy is.
He's beautiful.
Mia is a plant hopper nymph, a close relative of the leafhopper, but in the infraorder Fulguromorpha. You may have noticed something about her choice in accessorizing. Thank you to Mia. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Any plant hopper babies can produce wax from special glands, create sort of a full body mullet, business up front, and party in the butt. These These waxy tails may offer protection if a chasing predator tries for a quick bite. Some tails are a bit uptight, like a Virgo, kind of a get nervous if the cup's too close to the edge type tail. Others are more drink right out of the OJ container and wear yesterday's underwear kind of tails. More Sagittarius, you know. And then there's Mildred. Mildred's her own damn sign of the zodiac. She just marches around like a tiny snuffleupagus on a high humidity.
Looks like a crab that got stuck in a cloud.
See, you can barely find her. Not all plant hopper babies exude wax, but they are very good jumpers. They can accelerate from 0 to 12 miles an hour in less than a millisecond. Ready? There. Plant hopper nymphs have little gears, actual gears on their thigh parts. These gears ensure that the jumping legs are synchronized during takeoff, and after, they snap back, ready for the next jump. Another group of relatives of plant hoppers and leaf hoppers are tree hoppers in the family Membracidae. Here, a whole herd of babies are tended to by their ant babysitters. These ants are waiting to collect little drops of honeydew, which is the prettiest name for a turd in nature. Just this morning I had a bout of chili cheese fries dew. All of these hoppers, even the babies, eat the sap of plants, which is so rich in sugars that they poop it out, often right into the mouth of a waiting ant. The ant gets food and the baby stays clean, which is important because this sugary residue can attract deadly bacteria and mold. Some nymphs have specialized anal tubes, which is fun to say. Not as fun as anal dimple, but it is still fun to say. I know you're thinking, what's so special about an anal tube? Don't I have an anal tube? Technically, yes. But can yours do this? This leaf hopper nymph, for example, can extend its anal tube right out of its butt, like a two-click nubbin on a mechanical pencil. This extension helps it deposit dew further away from its body if there are no butt-munching ants about. Sadly for the ants, this particular anus is as disappointing as an empty tube of Pringles. Just the crumbs. Leaf, tree, and plant hopper babies.
For that ass, bro.
Most fashion-forward adults in the animal kingdom. Leaf hopper adults are into patterns and prints, like a Leo but with a 30 million year head start. You name it. Something patriotic. How about a bit more subtle? How about a highlighter got into a fight with a glow stick? How about something more like I have a green and yellow crayon, but only 5 seconds to color? I'm going to a black tie event and then a rave. Do you have something? Plant hopper adults are playing with form and accessorizing. Some keep their waxy tails. Others grow a nose-like protrusion that helps them get under bark and at the sap beneath. Oh, I'm sorry. Carry on. Plant hopper adults have a high degree of specialization, often mimicking other insects as a form of defense. Like, seriously, who would f*** with that? Now, tree hopper adults have an obsession with hats that would make a milliner or haberdasher squeal. Many tree hoppers have an enlarged pronotum, or first segment of their thorax, which creates kind of a helmet. One scientist proposed that this structure had evolved from a third pair of wings. And then another scientist said, oh, interesting. Too bad you're totally wrong. In that way that the best science is often a long, slow, passive-aggressive argument. With this helmet, the tree hopper can mimic
Ew.
wolves and ants, even tiny helicopters or tattoos of hearts with thorns on them. Some even look like Maleficent, dressed up as an even more badass Maleficent. Here is one riding around for a main on a leaf, like a hungover.
Dude, imagine seeing that in your shower one morning.
I'd love that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And it makes me thankful for the scientists and enthusiasts, giants compared to these tiny creatures that some call pests, hunkered down, training their macro lenses on leaves, because they're curious.
Like, that's how I want to learn. Okay, that's the type of education that I never thought I'd need.
Enthusiastic.
Yep, just a
And
parody,
I think
but educational at the same time.
I think my favorite part of the video was like the gear legs. That was so cool. It's crazy how much stuff we think was only possible by man now already exists in nature.
Yep. Not only that, the brilliance of this particular style of doing it is that if you play this in a biology class, the entire class will be
Will
watching.
pay attention, and they will learn.
And they would learn. Exactly. The information will be retained because it's entertaining. he's joking, and you don't know where the joke will come, so you'll pay attention and you'll learn throughout as well. Like he gives you facts and gives you the parody and uses actual footage. It's the perfect mix, and it's three minutes.
But
of
not
video
everyone
usually.
can do this, man.
Well, yeah, it takes a true artist to find that, to actually do that. And
Here's the thing,
he
though,
uploads like
because
once a
of-
year. So
Because of the internet, not everyone has to do this. One guy could do this, and everyone can access it and learn
pretty
from it.
much, yep. You don't need that one super teacher that everybody wants to actually attend with because he's the best. No need for that. Everybody gets
everyone
access.
can learn.
Yep.
You can watch full MIT lectures on YouTube for free, Harvard lectures, etc.
I was gonna say
Yep.
that my one of my math professors in college had a YouTube channel, and if you missed a lesson, or
You can go there.
yeah, you can
That's so
watch it.
dope.
You could basically get a whole college education without going, just by watching the lectures on YouTube. Well, it's not the same, I guess, the college experience. I don't know.
But that's
Yeah,
what a
but
lot
yeah,
of online courses are essentially, right? You just watch videos and then you apply them to exams that they send to you.
What would you guys say is the value of the college experience? Because you two have been to college before. I haven't started yet.
0.
So here's, I stayed home for college. I had really good universities here, so I stayed local. I still did live out part of the college experience, but I feel like when people say that, it's an overrated term to describe like going to a different state at the very least and living on, like learning to fend for yourself while continuously fucking up in the process.
I don't think people should like they romanticize the college experience and they make it seem like it's going to be the best years of your life. I say I've lived now a year off college, and I say this year is the best because I didn't have college. That is the common denominator in this entire year for me is that I was done with college, so I felt better.
No, right.
Would you say just go to college to get the degree, and if you want to learn anything else, just figure it out on your own?
Yeah,
Or
get one degree.
Wise to go back to college if you want to learn more stuff.
Like, look, college isn't pointless, but I do think that Trillion's example is like he's a weird sample because he's out of college and he enjoys it so much because he only has to flush toilets once a month. That's his job. And he gets paid for that shit.
No, it's not just that. It's not just that. Okay, I spent 5 years in college to get a degree, and to be fair, I didn't want that degree. It was one of these please your parents decisions, right?
Yeah,
so
doctor or lawyer or
doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Boom.
I picked the easiest, which was engineer, right?
Is engineer really the easiest?
Only because you can, like, if you have a halfway competent brain, you don't have to study as much, and you can
engineering
still pass.
Just seems like, and I don't know why anyone would actually want to become a lawyer. I can see doctor and engineer, like if someone wants to be one of them, but a lawyer, you want to be a lawyer?
You can abuse the system if you know, like you can abuse people.
No, it's not just that. No, if you're addicted to like stage performance and you want to do it as a job, be a lawyer.
If you're not good enough to be an actor, be a lawyer.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Yeah.
There's also a lot of positions or a lot of industries where being a lawyer heavily favors you. So, for example, if you would like to be like a sports agent or a celebrity agent, you must be a lawyer, right?
Yeah, having a law degree helps tremendously with your hiring capacity, or being hired capacity, rather. No, being a lawyer is it's a pretty good gig.
So are people like Stephen A. Smith lawyers and all that too, or is that different?
He's a sports broadcaster. He has a lot of connections to lawyers, and he does understand a lot of the legality that revolves around, for example, the NBA.
What about Skip?
Skip Bayless? I think what's his history? He went to Oklahoma State, right? And studied journalism there. I think they both have journalism backgrounds, although I don't think Stephen A. did a traditional route. Journalism used to be a very noble field. It does work with lawyers often because you're going to be if you're trying to break a story, there's always going to be a lawyer involved.
What do you think needs to be done for journalism to regain its respect?
It dies.
Wow. And yeah, it might need to die and start from the ground up again.
Yep. I see no way for it to recover without it like hitting the restart button with all the knowledge we have now.
Like you have to take into consideration that journalism is basically a meme now. Like the mainstream media is used to describe all over the spectrum and is used to describe a lot of different people in that industry, from CNN to Fox News, to the point where no one's going to be taken seriously 100% of the time, even though that was the profession where reliability was kind of a perk.
It's not only that. Back in the day, people got their content from newspapers, and that's what the media was for. They make the newspapers. Now you can get your content from anybody,
and you can immediately cross-reference, no problem.
Yep. So you don't have to pick three newspapers, and these three. One is left, one is right, and one is controlled by the government. So yeah, you get the three perspectives, and that's it. No, it's not. There's no longer that. You can get an independent media source, and it'll be just some guy, and he's telling you what happened.
Now, look, let me explain to you how a friend of mine does it. He will look up whatever he wants. Usually, he finds the news trending on Twitter or Facebook or something. Then goes to Google, looks up the exact story, checks the first three links, clicks on all three of them, then goes to like Politico or one of those, or Pew Research, one of those websites where they rank like the reliability of news sources impartially. And he plugs in their links and sees how reliable they are. And he picks one that's right, picks one that's left, picks one that's centrist, and then compares them. If he cares that much about the story, that's the length that he will take in order to find how they each compare to one another in reporting what needs to be reported.
That's frankly impressive. I have to say, like that amount of
It doesn't take that much time either.
Actually, imagine if somebody started a business with that. So a business that does that for you.
Oh, Steve Ballmer is currently there are websites that have already ranked several news sources from Fox to One American, CNN, all of them. Spoiler alert, Fox News is the most reliable out of the mainstream media, but not by much, right? So it was kind of expected, but it's kind of funny as well.
So,
but I believe Steve Ballmer on the Bill Maher show admitted that that's what he's going for, is like a news reliability software.
How many years has Ben O'Reilly been off the air now?
Ooh, good question. When did he get accused of sexual harassment?
I have no idea. I don't remember. It was a while. I know that much.
It's been long enough to feel nostalgic, that's for sure.
What was it that he said? He wanted some chocolate? That's what he got? That's what he said?
Oh, yeah. Let me get some milk chocolate or something.
I got whatever is what is his name? What's his name? The king of the internet. What's his name? Alex Jones. Is he still around?
He has his website. He's always had his own website where you can go if nothing else works. Of course.
Dude, put this into perspective. Like Alex Jones is able to sustain himself, or rather is able to be sustained by the community, because there is a healthy dose of people that genuinely believe everything that comes out of his mouth and they support him, or just the people that love making like meme compilations and need to have his content, so they subscribe to him just to see what he says.
Dude, I bet
balance.
on that side. I bet on that side he's having the time of his life, saying, "See, I told you Trump is the savior," and just yelling pro-Trump chants. Like,
I'm sick of them putting chemicals in the water that make the freaking frogs gay.
I loved him when he had some weed in the Joe Rogan podcast.
I'm sick of this crap.
And started talking about cosmic forces and shit. I love that.
Oh, dude,
FEMA camps.
Alex Jones is a national treasure.
Dude, we will look fondly on him when he goes away. I bet his content becomes like public domain. That type of fucking intensity.
It's crazy. He's been doing this forever. Like he got arrested for going to a George W. Bush rally during his first election. Like he's been doing this type of thing for the longest time.
Holy shit!
Since before I was born.
Do you remember the video where somebody spills coffee on him and he chases after him?
You're an intellectual dumbass.
Dude, you gotta. There's something like genuine about just being that fucking angry all the time. I love that. Like going from. And today, in modern parliament, the impeachment hearing has went south to they got him. Ah! It's very, very different.
There's something beautiful about like starting at a point like what you just said, Shirley, like the impeachment hearings, well, blah 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 blah, and going so deep down the rabbit hole that you eventually end up at the impeachment is blah 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 blah.
And having people come to you because you're so angry, and animated.
Do you remember?
And
do you remember Alex Jones versus Piers Morgan?
Oh,
his fake British accent. You want to watch it?
Oh my God! Please pull it up.
Oh, pull it up. I'm not familiar.
Okay, I'm not going to screen share. I'm going to pull up the video. Do you want to watch the full debate or just the funny part?
How
because we do have time constraint.
How long is it? Yeah, it looks like
I'll watch the funny part because I can
watch the funny part.
Sure.
Just give the viewers a sample because then they can go watch it on their own because we still do have to watch out for copyright.
Yeah.
My old channel, the one that I don't use, that I basically use to like direct people to this channel, just got a strike the other day. I don't know why.
Okay.
You gotta love the YouTube algorithm.
I will have to take off my headphones just so you guys can hear it. Just because the sound will come out of my headphones and then go into the mic on my laptop.
No need. If you screen share, it will give the audio as well, like I did with the tree hopper video.
Let me know if you guys can hear it then.
Sure. Alex Jones.
Can you hear it?
Click. Oh yeah, we can't hear it. That's weird.
I'll just put my headphones down here.
All right, sure. Oh, he looks so young. Oh God.
Wait, I gotta listen for the part first.
Oh, I can't get over it. He looks so fucking young.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh God, look at his face. Oh, that's so good. It's so good.
I sleep very comfortably outside knowing that I can defend my family. Okay, Alex Jones. Infowars.com.
Insert the plug.
You're telling us what to do. That's where they took the guns if you don't like it.
Fighting to the end.
For every second of screen time, I love it.
Dude,
I
can speak in this accent as well.
Dude, I have never seen Piers Morgan look so exhausted after that video was like 6 minutes, a 6-minute interview.
Oh, you should see Piers Morgan versus Ben Shapiro. He got furious.
How dare
you? How dare you?
Dude, I love
Jones, man.
The funny part about Piers Morgan, he's like he's bringing, like, he has on his news channel, like, he has a partner, and you know the dynamic of news channels. You have the outrageous opinion guy, and that would be Pierce Morgan, and then there'll be like a girl who's actually like relatable and tries to make things better, and then they bring in feminists, right? And the feminists would say something, and then Pierce Morgan would shit on them, and then the girl would try to mediate, and that's like 10 minutes per a pop of just seeing Pierce Morgan shit on feminists. And I watched these. I watched these at a certain point religiously. I clicked after, like, until they ran out, and then I got bored, and so I put feminist cringe compilations, and that's how I pass my day.
That's actually how I discovered Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, that's how everybody
a lot of
did,
people
right?
discovered Jordan Peterson.
Yep,
Oh, through feminist compilations?
yep. You know, he throws a massive comeback line and is like, who's this guy? And then you click on him. The same thing with Ben Shapiro, right? Facts don't care about your feelings. And you're like, that's very good. Let's check more of his content.
My wife is a doctor.
The problem with Ben Shapiro is that he doesn't have like a personality. It's too robotic.
It's not just that. It was
Lacks
proven.
enthusiasm.
It was proven that if you actually like don't show him respect and shit on him in the interview, and you have halfway competent debating skills, Ben Shapiro just breaks down. He can't actually properly respond. You have to give him some sort of due respect, otherwise he can't really function.
This reminds me of a video that you made on your channel called Debates versus Discussions. Jordan Peterson is more someone who wants to have a discussion with someone, while Ben Shapiro is more someone that wants to have a debate. And then the problem with Ben Shapiro is that since he debates, if it doesn't go in his favor, he falls apart. But since Jordan Peterson is just trying to have a discussion, he never has that problem.
Well, can you blame Ben Shapiro, though? I mean, he did go to the Harvard debate school, right? And he was like a top debater there. And like he was very well, like he grew up in that environment, for lack of a better term.
Well, I'm not against that in particular. I'm just against him. Like, even he would treat even casual interviews as debates if the other person has an opposite viewpoint. So, like, even in tame environments, he seems to start with that aggression, and it's
adversarial.
not needed. Yeah, it just starts immediately defining lines. Okay, while in Peterson, if you turn it into in a debate, Peterson would break it down and make it into a discussion, and that's what makes people want to hear him more.
Well, I'll say this about the entire Daily Wire cast. I like all of the other shows more than I like the Ben Shapiro show. Ben Shapiro gets you there, but I'll stay for Michael, or what's his name, Michael Knowles, and what's the bald guy's name? Andrew Klavan.
Hey.
Like, I'll stay for those two.
No, it's actually pretty interesting because what inspires people more, winning a debate or having a good discussion with somebody? And in my experience,
having a good discussion.
Yeah, it almost always wins, because even if you win the debate, the chances that you change somebody's mind are minimum, because the person just doesn't want to agree with you.
Plus, it also makes the winner a bit more ignorant, because you're forced to carry all the burden that side comes with, including the flaws in their argument and their fallacies.
See, but I kind of
discussion.
I disagree with that in the sense that I think most people would benefit from a very good discussion. But I think if you were to ask people, what they'd prefer, they say a good discussion. But I think in some people's heart of hearts, they do want to win a debate. Some people feel so strongly and confident.
Well, that's just because people like drama.
Well,
like,
yeah.
It is, it's the equivalent of like the high school drama, like somebody has to win, right? Because I've met people like that. I've met people where you're trying to talk to them about something, and they turn it into an argument that you were not looking to have, and they must prove you wrong. They must be the winner.
Yeah, that's why people struggle with me whenever they try to debate me, is because I'm like, I just don't debate. I talk. And it's your fault if you want to debate.
That's
And
another thing about Jordan too. He says the best way to learn about something is to just keep talking about it.
yeah, but pretty much ask anybody, talk about everybody about it. Of course, there are some topics that I found that are extremely difficult to talk to people with because the very idea challenges like an entire lifestyle or ideology, and people wouldn't want to actually tackle that.
What are
Like,
some difficult topics to talk to other Arab people over there?
easy. Did we actually lose the fucking Israeli, like the Arab versus Palestinian conflicts, the 6 Day War, and all that shit? Because as far as the Arabs are concerned, we didn't lose. Okay,
Yeah, we did.
and I'm like, we did. And the second you admit that, we can move past it. No, we can't say they won. You know,
Maybe
and they
maybe
have
it's
that
different
mentality.
being in America than it would be back over there. You know,
And it's not different. Some people are reasonable and they would agree with you, and most people who I surrounded myself with, they agree. But
it's just that in America, like you're in the American bubble, but inside of America, you're never really in a bubble. If you know what I'm trying to say.
fair enough. I understand where you're coming from. It makes things easier. Here, it's like if they admit defeat, it's almost like saying, you know, to most people, it's my religion is less powerful than it is, which is true in this modern day. But they refuse to even conceive that, because the second you admit you lost, now we can discover what went wrong and then improve upon that. But because they never say that they lost, they can never actually know what's wrong. They'll just do like business as usual.
Why is it like this fear of being wrong?
If you suggest that you were wrong, for some reason, that would mean that the religion is wrong. That's how they would view it.
No, I'm not even talking about like in relation to
That's
Islam.
how it's.
In general,
That's the
though,
funny
yeah,
part.
that's true.
That's the funny part. They would
They always tie
associate
it back to
any-
Islam.
Yes, yes, they do. Dude, think about it like this. In the Persian Gulf, the Arabic culture there follows a certain school of Islam that says music bad. You can't listen to music, right? If it's an instrument, you can't listen to it, right? Let's say you come from a different school, like the Levant school, and the Levant school is like fully musical. They would sing praises of the Prophet all the way through, right? And you would sit a person from the Gulf and you tell them, well, it's not fully agreed upon by the scholars that music is bad. They wouldn't even want to debate you, because now it became a cultural norm for music to be bad, and if you listen to it, you're sinning. So you can listen to music as long as you admit that it's bad.
So it's not even Islam by the book anymore. There's cultural barriers on top. Cultural interpretation.
There has always been that. There are 5 schools of Sunni or Orthodox Islam.
Do you think
And
so
these
many
folks-
interpretations of Islam just have to do with the difficulty of people speaking Arabic understanding each other, just because of all the different words in the language and the dialects, etc.?
It's not that. Actually, it's the dialects. That is the major part.
But you said there's a lot of words too, let alone dialects. Like there's just a lot of words.
Here's the thing: the dialects are so different. For us, the word aish here means rice. Aish means bread in the Egyptian dialect. So imagine that communication gap existing in the same language, and nobody uses Arabic proper. Everybody uses dialect. So the communication gap is huge, even between different dialects, because different words mean different things. No, and each dialect has its own words as well. For example, for us, an elevator in Kuwaiti, most people call it ascenseur. An ascenseur is actually a stolen term from the French that we changed into the Arabic. The proper term that for example, a Levant user would use would be mas'ad, which is the actual like meaning or the actual word in proper Arabic. So again, communication gap, tons of communication gap. Not only that, it's universally acknowledged by me, not by everybody else, that the Arabs just fucking hate each other. and everybody knows it, and everybody acts like it, but they pretend they don't. Every Arab culture hates the other part. I don't know why. We just have that fucking vibe. We don't have like whoever speaks of a unified Arab mentality is kidding himself, because it's just we hate each other, like in person to person.
I never
level.
really noticed that in America growing up. Like I guess
because
if you're over here, like everyone just if you're not Arab, everyone just sees all the Arabs as just Arabs, and that's for every group. You know how every group sees each other.
well, yeah, pretty much. I don't know, but to put it in like American terms, so Lewi can relate. And I don't know if this is true or not, but if a Texan came to California, and he was a Texan from accent or from face or from tone or from the fact that he's right wing, whatever, right? Would you develop like, or would a normal Californian be like somewhat discriminatory to that Texan person?
They usually are.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
so
jealous of all the water Texas has.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
That and the three major states. I think I mentioned this before. They hate each other: Floridians,
Yeah,
Californians, and Texans.
So it's pretty
What
much
about
like
New
that.
York in there too. You could throw New York in there.
So it's pretty much like that, but like imagine it on a much smaller scale, because the countries are so like segregated and differentiated by the French and British split. And actually, that's hilarious because like in the Levant area, I think not Levant. There are certain areas that French is the second language, not English. And for us, like Kuwait and like that side of the Gulf, it's English is the second language, just based on that British influence. And like you go to Egypt, and I think that was French for a while, and then it was English for a while. So they actually have three languages, which is Arabic, English, and French, and these three are what you need to communicate with everybody. It's a confusing mess of countries that don't know what to do and don't want to talk about it. That's the best way to describe the Arabic states.
Quick question: Is car in your country Sayara?
Yes.
Sayara?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Sayonara? What?
Sayara. I don't know a ton of Arabic words, but I know a few. Like medrese is school, I think.
correct. Yeah.
And shy is tea.
That is correct.
Yeah, I don't know a lot. I'm not going to waste the stream time on this. It's just I wanted to see if maybe some words were different in your country just because of the whole dialect thing.
There are some, but chai. We took it from China, right? So like we didn't change anything.
Hey, Trillian.
Let's just use Jordan as an example, because if there's any Arabic I know, that's the country where it would be from, just because that's where my dad's family's from on my dad's side, Jordan. So that's the Arabic
Jordan,
that would have been used around me growing up.
Jordan is a beautiful.
Are there any
country.
words in Jordan that aren't used in Kuwait?
Ni hao.
What are some words that I'd probably know that you don't use over there in Kuwait?
I don't have any Jordanese friends, so I never got the opportunity to actually steal their words. I have some friends from the Levant and Syria, particularly. I know some Egyptians, but nothing. Jordanese people usually don't come to Kuwait.
There's so many Roman ruins in Jordan.
Oh, fuck
mountains,
yes.
And
beautiful place.
I really wanted to visit Petra, but my dad told me that there's a public defecation issue over there. Like people will just publicly defecate at Petra.
Hey, like San Francisco.
I love that shit.
So it's like just completely ruins any form of tourism.
Yeah, you want to feel the course of history coursing through you, but it's actually the stench of somebody's fucking feces.
Someone's taking a shit by Petra on their lunch break.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big problem in India, right? Shitting on the street.
Oh yeah.
I just love that. we want to appreciate these places, but they have the worst habits in existence for anybody who's like cultural or cultured, that you just don't want to do it. I would love to visit
what makes
Mumbai,
me
but
laugh so much is that like we
yeah,
wash our hands with soap, right? Like we have toilet paper, we wash our hands with soap, but people will still insist on eating with only their right hand. Because I just found out like a couple of months ago why people only eat with their right hand. It's because people would literally wipe their ass with their left hand.
yeah, back in the day, yeah.
But it's like,
You would
guys,
wipe your
we wash our hands with soap now. We can eat with our left hand. There's no reason.
That's actually one of the topics that you cannot debate, which is if a religious norm no longer applies, because the reason it was imposed was because of this particular thing.
Whenever I was growing
Should
up,
it still be followed?
yeah, and they never told me that growing up. All they would tell you was, "Oh, shaitan eats with the left hand. If you eat with your left hand, you feed shaitan.
And shaitan and
You're sharing your food with shaitan."
That's our version of Satan, just for context, Lewi. But here's the thing: let's go down this topic list, because I think we only covered Kappa, and we're almost done with the stream. I want to talk about Netflix, okay? And the thing about Netflix is, they gave us a scare a few months back where they basically most of their popular seasons turned LGBT, and like a week after the outrage, we got the Dave Chappelle special and the Bill Burr special just attacking everything at once. And now I come to see the Netflix shows, and I don't see any agendas thrown in it. Just people are doing their thing.
Conflict of interest, though. Like, what does Netflix want to do? Do they want to go the Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr route, or do they want to go the other route?
That's the question that I asked when I looked at the shows, and I came to realize I think Netflix reached the point where they became a platform, not a service. So because
it's
they're
just
a platform,
everything's on there.
Yep, and we initially thought that they were the ones who imposed the LGBT quota on the filmmakers, and so the filmmakers suffered from it. But it may be that the filmmakers decided to make it like that, and Netflix just doesn't give a fuck, and they're all about giving people the opportunity to create. So did Netflix now become a platform? And with YouTube's current laws, will people take refuge in Netflix and just make more advanced content instead of making everyday content the way you do YouTube?
Yes, but I don't think it's going to become the direct alternative to YouTube.
Yeah, definitely that. But will it become a competing platform with YouTube time, basically?
Also, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but I kind of look at streaming services like consoles. Like, if you don't have exclusives, I don't want to pay for it. Like, I would pay for Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or Netflix, but I won't pay for Hulu, because Hulu doesn't have any exclusives that I'm interested in, if any.
But they have free live sports. Oh wait, so does YouTube, huh?
Oh, yep.
Who uses Hulu still?
Why are they still pushing that?
The only thing I would watch on Amazon Prime is The Boys, but it's so good that I'll pay that once a month fee just to watch The Boys.
Or just buy it. You can buy it, right? I have not.
I don't know yet. I don't think so. Not yet, anyway.
What about Jack Ryan? That's all I see advertised from Amazon.
Isn't that just like a remake of the Harrison Ford movie?
Probably, but that's all they're pushing. Like I said, that's all I see on YouTube ads.
No, they should be honestly, they should just be advertising The Boys, because that's by far the best show they have on.
They did for like I think 2 months. I kept getting The Boys ads, and
they're advertising season 2 now. Season 2.
Oh, really?
Soon, yeah.
We tried to subscribe to Amazon Prime here so we can watch the bloody thing, but we came to realize that we don't benefit from Amazon Prime.
Just go to 123 Movies.
I know I can, but I try my best to avoid not paying or pirating.
Oh, get an ad blocker.
No, it's not the ad block thing. It's the point is I just don't want to pirate. If I don't need to, I won't. You know.
Just go on Kiss Anime, bro.
Support the industry.
Everything's
the industry, guys. You just gotta support the industry and give them.
Oh no, never mind. I never
It's
pay for
so
anime. I thought I would, but I just can't bring myself to give them the money. I don't know. That's the only thing I'll pirate.
Imagine working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to give your money to someone to support the industry.
I remember when
Are
that
you
became a
kidding me?
buzzword.
Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna give you, now that I know the value of money by actually working as an adult, I'm not gonna give you my money to support the. Are you kidding me?
Dude, do you remember those? Yeah, do you remember those twerps though? Those YouTubers. There's like, all right, guys, this month I got 100 volumes of manga, got 100 volumes of anime, and got this comic book. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Do you eat? Do you support? You have kids. Do you support them at all?
It's crazy when you're an adult and you realize just how much money goes towards food, especially if you eat out a lot.
Or gas?
Oh, I don't have a car.
Yeah.
That's actually.
Not
I
yet.
don't know how I feel, but like I need to have a car right now. But the Uber is a very good tool at the moment.
It's not that I don't want to use a car. I just need to get my license first. Still.
That you see, you guys complaining about this makes me feel weird because, like, food is not particularly expensive unless you go to a fancy restaurant here. You can eat on a daily basis and only spend about $3 throughout the whole month if you so
It
wish.
costs like $11 or $12 just to get a foot long chips and a drink from Subway.
Well, same here, but we have like basically a legislation here. There are certain restaurants, and we refer to them as Indian restaurants, but they're not really, because they don't serve like curry. They serve falafel, right?
Mm.
But here's the thing: the price of it is. Let me get the U.S. converter. The price of one falafel sandwich. If you wanna fucking eat very cheaply, is 0.1 Kuwaiti dinar, which is 100 fils, and that's about 30 cents. So you can have a sandwich for 30 cents, and that's government mandated.
You want to get a good sandwich, you got to get the chicken shawarma sandwich with the garlic aioli, the red sauce, the hummus, and the spicy pickles, man.
From where though? What are you talking about? Quiznos?
No, it's just you either make it at home or you just get it from an Arabic place like Holy Land or something.
Need to find some Arab delis, bro.
Do they have Holy Land where you're at?
I don't think so. No,
They don't have Holy Land.
Mm-mm. I do need to find, because I have like a deli for a lot of different cultures. So I just found a really good Japanese deli that's nearby. Didn't know it existed, but
do they have Holy Land in the Middle East at all? Trillion? Do they have Holy Land, or is that an America thing?
I don't know what Holy Land is, but we have like joints, like entire streets that serve shawarma. So I don't think we need it.
Okay, yeah.
The agreed upon price for shawarma here is about $2.
Have you ever seen like vendors in your country swindle tourists before? Because I know like bartering is like.
We have to get tourists first. We're not exactly the best country to go to considering the weather, but if you go to somewhere like more tourist friendly, let's not say the UAE. The UAE is modernized, so prices are fixed. But if you go to a rich and culture country like the Levant or Iran, you would still find haggling there. But the haggling culture still exists in Kuwait.
How do you properly haggle as a tourist without pissing people off?
Okay, I've never seen a tourist haggle in Kuwait, but
no, I mean like haggle back, like not like try to haggle someone, but like try to reduce the haggling as much as they can,
or like hold your ground. Yeah.
Well, for the way I've seen people do it is like, in our place at least, if you don't want to haggle too much, what you do is you're like, okay, so what's the price of this? And he gives you a price. And then he's like, last price. Come on. and if then he can tell you, okay, I'll reduce it by this amount, or he can tell you that's as low as I can get you, and then you can agree to buy it or just find another store. And that's for us is like the
Because if they see you walk away,
speed
they might
haggling.
yell out to you and be like, "Oh, wait."
Yep, and if they don't, that's fine. You'll go to another store. It's a win-win for everybody. And so what happened is, people like hagglers would actually give you the list of all the prices you're going to get throughout the store and try to educate you on the best price, and then try to sell you the product. And what they do with that is
Advanced.
now. No, what happens is you're like, okay, let me go to other stores to confirm. And then it turns out to be true. So you feel inclined because that person taught you something to come back and buy it from him. And I've seen it happen. So that's how haggling evolved over the years. But the worst people who haggle are basically moms. The moms are the horrible hagglers who would sit half an hour to get it just $1 cheaper.
The equivalent of like the white mom with the bowl cut.
Except imagine a black robe and a hijab, and that you're done. Like you can see them all over. It's actually kind of hilarious. I remember like I went to buy clothes from a store, which was haggle based, so nothing modern, not a company, right? Just a store. And I got T-shirts and I got a few things, and he said, "Okay, the price is this." So I'm like, "Okay," and I pulled out my money, right?
Mhm.
And suddenly he's like, "Actually, there's a super special, awesome discount. I forgot." And then he punched in a few numbers, like, "Actually, you get this much off," which is a considerable amount. I'm like, "Okay, that's neat." And I gave him the money. And as he was like bagging my clothes, I asked him the question, which is, so how do the moms actually, what do they do to you? Because I didn't haggle. I don't like haggling. If I like your price, I'll buy it. If I don't, I'll move on, right? And he said, "Oh, dude, you don't even know. If you don't haggle, we just give you cheaper. And if you haggle a little, we'll give you cheaper too. But if you fight us, we're going to try to cheat you as much as possible." So the special discount was actually the actual price that he wanted to sell it. But because he thought I was going to haggle, he gave me the overpriced version. And when I didn't haggle, he didn't want to cheat me. So he invented the discount on the go. It's pretty neat. Bro. Yep. Like we bonded over the fact that I didn't haggle with him. It was pretty good.
You'd be surprised like how much you can make.
Those moms just the equivalent? Aren't those moms just the equivalent of I want to speak to the manager moms in America?
Yeah, that's what I just said. The bowl cut women.
Yep. It's pretty much that. Except imagine old school, like wearing the black dress and the hijab and looking so old and mostly fat that it's kind of sad. That's the only thing they have in life, haggling.
Their only source of power.
Yep.
And the only
what do you think they would happen if they just showed a little bit of their ankles to try to get a discount?
Ooh.
Well, most of the vendors we have here are like expats, which are like foreigners, so Egyptians, Levant people, and these guys see way more than ankles, so that wouldn't work.
No, I mean like would it work on the Kuwaiti natives?
It wouldn't, because the Kuwaiti natives always have a side bitch on the side, so it's like common discourse. You have the wife to give you the kids, and then you have the side bitch to have fun with.
I always wonder that, like, how big is cheating in like Islamic relationships? Like, is that a thing?
It's frowned upon heavily, but guys do it all the time.
Oh, guys cheat all the time.
Yeah, the way that happens is mostly Kuwaitis like to marry Kuwaitis. Okay, as most cultures do, they like to marry in their own circle, right? And what you tend to discover is that Kuwaiti parents in this modern day, they spoil their girls way too much. So when they get married, they expect the same amount of spoiling and sometimes even more. But because people come from different but it's the same everywhere, right? But the difference here is when the Kuwaiti woman does not realizes that marriage is a contract between two equals, and if she gets spoiled, she'll be spoiled a bit less because, well, guess what? You're not my daughter, right? They get pretty angsty, and so what happens is if they stay married, the fun is out by the 5th year if you're lucky, because if you survive the 5th year, you won't divorce, but you won't have fun either. So guys don't get the passion they expect from a woman. So what happens is they leave the wife, and she's for kids, and she's for being at home, and she's like the safe zone, right? The friend zone, right? And then they would find an extremely attractive foreigner, and they would be their sugar daddy, and they would just have fun with that. Some people travel to like the Indochina, that region, Thailand, the Philippines, and they get their mistresses there if they don't like long-term commitments or one-person commitments.
Or
they get
you
hookers
think
from
they
there.
could just find someone who's in Kuwait too, because you said they go back home a lot. A lot of them end up going back to their home country, so they could just get with someone. They get sent back, and like who are you talking about? Because they already got sent back.
Well, yeah, no. Usually, like if you're gonna date, if you're gonna cheat in Kuwait, you're not gonna pick the Indo-Chinese. You're not gonna pick the Filipinos. You're not gonna pick the Indians. You're not gonna pick these people. You're gonna pick people from the Levant who speak your language, and are generally have a different sort of attraction. They don't have the Asian look. But if you decide to travel, you keep it there. The reason is you don't want your wife to even sniff the fucking cheating. And it's almost agreed upon. You can sit in like a gathering of guys, and you can mention Thailand with a wink, wink, and everybody will know what you're talking about. It's like something we never talk about, but everybody knows happens. It's like I'm going to Thailand. It's like, oh, you're gonna enjoy the beaches and the scenery, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So when people get caught, is the reaction different over there than it is like in America if someone gets caught cheating?
If a guy gets caught, it's frowned upon, but it's not a big crisis. If a girl gets caught cheating, oh
Stone?
man,
Do they still do
Well,
stoning?
Do they
No,
still
no.
stone people that don't what?
we don't do stoning, you piece of shit. No, we don't.
No, they do beheading.
Even better.
No, if she cheats and the husband divorces her, that's done. There's no more marriage for that girl. She is expired. Even if she divorces without cheating, that's kind of also you can only marry another divorcee. It's your marital options are limited.
I'm surprised that all the stuff that happens in America happens over there too, but people don't get divorced over there nearly as often as people get divorced over here.
Incorrect.
Like, do people just not look down upon divorce in America? Or is it
people in
just that
Kuwait.
it's simply easier to get divorced over here?
No, divorce in Kuwait is just as high as any other area. And that mainly happens because way back when you're supposed to appreciate what you have no matter what, right? So if you get like a husband that has these certain bad traits, as a wife, you're supposed to tolerate it. And the same goes for the husband, right? If the wife has certain bad traits, you're supposed to adapt because you started the family. But in this modern age, with the popularization of the idea of divorce and freedom and going with who you love and all that, what happens is if marriage doesn't turn out to be what you expected, you would bail out, which wasn't the case way back when.
I think
Anywhere in the world.
Problems. I think in America, because I think it starts with the dating culture. Because dating culture in America, it basically, if you don't want to have to commit to anything long term, you don't have to. You can move on. But in Middle Eastern countries, since a lot of people follow Islamic culture, in order to date someone in Islam, you actually have to get engaged to that person to technically be allowed to date them, which is much different in America.
Nobody applies this, by the way. If you want to date, you go date. Nobody cares. But
some of my dad did. Anyway.
Yeah. Again,
it's not what a lot of
culture evolved.
Not him specifically. Older generation. The older generation.
Yeah, older generation had to do it, right? But here's the thing: I've done this comparison. I've talked to many people about the differences between an arranged marriage and a date, live with the person for a year or two, and then decide whether you want to be married or not. I did the comparison, and if you look at the stats, it doesn't matter. Sadly, if you get arranged or you get whatever, it doesn't matter. What does matter though, at least when it comes to divorce, that's what I'm referring to. But what matters though usually is if you date a person, what that gives you is the ability to find out whether you're compatible with them or not, and that gives you more odds of actually having a good marriage versus a bad marriage. With arranged marriage, if you don't have the mentality of accept that the person will not be what you want, and be okay with that, and find a way to negotiate your contract, if you come with that mentality, the arranged marriage becomes overwhelmingly successful because it's not built up on love; it's built upon tolerance. But if it's done on the expectation of that it's going to be perfect, it's horrifying. It's horrifying.
The thing too is that it's more so the women that expect the fairy tale ending than guys do.
Well,
Guys are more willing to accept the flaws.
Men are simple creatures. You know, you kiss them on the cheek every now and then. You
Make a sandwich.
Make a sandwich, fuck their brains out, reward them for good behavior. They're okay. They're done, right? Yeah. Don't yell at them after they come back from work. It's these minor things, right? With women, it's a bit different. You have to be a bit more creative. You have to pick the right color iPhone or something, you know?
The worst thing is dealing with difficult customers at work and then coming home to problems.
Yeah, like you come home from work, you just want a fucking sandwich and a cold drink, and you sit there and like the woman starts nagging you, like for the love of fucking God, no, from one hellhole to the next. That's why people break.
It's like at least when I'm at work, I get paid to listen to this. I don't get paid to listen.
They just have way too much energy, bro. They always got to be doing something.
Don't steal Bill Burr without referencing him, you piece of shit.
That's not Bill Burr. That's Billy Gardell. But like everybody knows that.
Guys,
like Bill Burr created that.
They're tired too. They're tired too. Being a stay-at-home mom is so hard.
Dude, even if you work, dude, my mom.
But it's like, come on.
No. Here's the thing. My mom, okay, she worked with my dad because my mom and dad, they worked their way up. We didn't have this, you know. That took 30 years of my dad and my mom cooperating with each other, right? Before that, both of them had to work, and it was accepted. Whatever paycheck my mom gets is hers, unless she wants to help my dad. That's up to her, right? In exchange, my dad gives her a salary, and my mom cooks the food and makes sure the house is clean. Added to her job, besides taking care of the kids. So my mom had all the things you would do as a stay-at-home mom, plus having a job.
But her money is
and everything was fine because they negotiated, right?
See,
everything was fine.
Want to talk.
Well, exactly. There's no agreement, right?
Compromise.
My mom now is retired. My mom and dad are retired, and my mom still cooks food because she can't get over that habit. She still wants to cook food, right? To her, it's her marital duty. She's been doing it for 30 years now. She's gonna keep doing it, right? And my dad still pays her the salary. And the roles are defined. Something breaks in the house, dad fixes it. We need food, mom might mix it. You know, it's that simple. It was simpler. I don't know when it got complicated. But I'll blame the feminists, okay? As I usually do. I'm just gonna blame the feminists. Well, yeah, anything based on communication. Like my mom and dad talk all the time. It's actually pretty annoying to look at, you know? Like, how don't you guys get bored? For the love of God,
it's kind of like the habit of not eating pork. Like a lot of Arab kids my age, like we still don't eat pork, even if we maybe don't really follow Islam anymore, just because it's a habit now.
Dude, you would drink, like most Arabs who travel out, they travel to drink, but they wouldn't touch pork if it meant their death. It's weird.
There's people that will do drugs and drink and go to parties and sleep with women but they won't touch pork. They won't touch pork.
I don't.
That's fascinating to me.
I see it all the time.
Like that's the line that they're not willing to cross.
Because like it's advertised way back when that like pork is just easily fucking.
Molly Percocet halal, bacon haram.
No, it's because like it's always portrayed that the pork, like the pig, is fucking dirty, and if you're eating him, you're eating fucking dirt and shit, right? So that's ingrained in the mentality of the Arab. When you drink, okay, wine is not dirty, so fine, but it's still ingrained into the Islamic person's mentality to hate pork and despise it.
The only time I'll eat pork is if it's pepperoni on pizza. I don't mind pepperoni.
I mean, it's pepperoni in the end, so I can't exactly argue with the.
You can't argue with the pizza argument, bro. It's pizza.
Yeah, look, I can't say anything.
Pepperoni pizza is pepperoni pizza, man. You can't say no to that. It's pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza. Yeah.
Forget about it.
Forget about it, dude. I had when I was in New York, I had so many people saying that to me. I thought it was a meme. Like my dad kept saying that all throughout the night over.
Huh.
And then I got there, and that's that, and like,
hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, that. Forget about it. What was the other one?
So like there are culture. What you're saying is there are like cultural catchphrases or something?
Yeah, like the word hella is a California thing. A lot of other states don't say that.
Dead ass.
So it's
dead ass is a New York thing, but Californians have adopted it. Cap is a California thing. It's an LA thing specifically.
Okay, now that's fascinating because as on the outside for us, these are all things all Americans say. As far as we're concerned, you're walking catchphrases.
We have 50 different dialects. That's.
See, but here's the thing: we don't have to interpret what the other person is saying, despite all the different ways. We can still pretty much understand what we're talking about pretty easily.
Yeah, that's. Well, one of it has to be that English is so easy to learn and talk with that
it's practical.
You can adopt it. It is like. Again, I attribute mainly the entirety of my growth as a person to the fact that I chose the English language over the Arabic language to get competent in. And
you traitor
as
to
a reward,
culture. But there's still plenty of room to be creative with it too, though.
It is, dude. If you go with zeros and ones, you'll find a way to make it creative. Don't worry about that. Creativity finds a way in any language, regardless of whether it's good or not. What's good about English is anybody can learn it. It's not difficult, unless you're Japanese, and then.
Just a quick thing about your mom and dad one more time. Did they date like normal people now, or did they have to get engaged too as part of the cultural thing that the older generation follows?
Was it arranged?
My mom and dad was one of these rare marriages back in the day that they married for love.
Concept.
Right? No, it's most people. You finish college and then you get your mom pairs you off with somebody. You can date, but my mom and dad did not date, as far as I know. They were at the same college, so they talked occasionally. They liked the cut of each other's jib, and then my dad asked whether they can be married. It's one of these things, that they knew when they saw each other. They knew that okay, I want to be with this person, and then they got married.
So it can work. It can work. We can't give up hope.
But I do find that like the whole love at first sight concept is definitely more prevalent with older generations. Like older generations tend to preach that and believe it a lot more.
Right now, because Tinder, man, you can't get love at first sight when you have Tinder swipes. Okay, it's done. It's gone.
Instant
not only that,
gratification.
Not only that, you can hook up and then you can try to classically date, but now it became a trope and it became so boring.
But doesn't it ever get old? Like just not caring about any of that values anymore?
Oh, you mean like straying away from traditionalism or traditional dating?
Not tradition, but like values. Like obviously tradition, it's also tradition for tradition to change and grow and evolve, but like to just abandon.
I don't know. On one hand, I know people lack taste these days, and by taste I mean like etiquette, right? They lost etiquette, and a lot of good parts of the past, mainly because a lot of these good things were built, in at least in the West, based on Christian values, and now everybody's atheist and they don't want to do it anymore because they're atheist and. They want to be secular and all that stupid fancy buzzwords.
I honestly don't know anymore because it's gotten to the point where I will see and hear people mention in the same breath, I just want a guy who's a gentleman. But then they get upset if you open the door for them. Like, I have seen, interacted, and dated these bitches before.
They don't know what they want. What's new?
And I used to credit that to, all right, they're young. And that's the way my mom used to explain it to me. Is like, they're young. They don't know yet. Like, they're not women yet. And then at my age, I don't know. You still see it. You still hear it. And I can't even blame feminism for it anymore. Like, you really can't. There's only so many things you can blame fourth wave feminism for.
No, you can blame everything on feminism because what they gave them is the idea that they are entitled, and that's the problem. Because if somebody says, "I want the person,"
they still want they still want to feel the traditional gratification, but they don't want to be traditional.
It's biology versus ideology. As a woman, you want to be appreciated, you want to be cared for, and all of that shit. It makes you feel, that's why they want to look beautiful. Like, they want that attention. But on the same end, their ideology prevents that.
Do you think it's easier for men to recognize and work around their biological tendencies and inclinations than it is for women, or no?
Nope.
I'll answer that with this. There was a girl who I knew who always used to say, I want to be told that I'm beautiful, but used to show up every day to school in sweatpants. And it's just like, and not yoga pants, but like the bag, like a hoodie and like baggy pants. And it was
that has its own attraction, I bet.
That has an appeal, but it's very slim, and I don't think most people are looking for that. Most guys, most horny teenagers at that age. You see the discrepancy.
It attracts like the casual audience, but as a woman, you have to be like prepared. If I grow a beard, I'm gonna have to assume that people would think I'm religious.
Yeah, but to answer like the original question, like it's not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like trying to understand why I may be wrong with me because like inclination.
Well, here's the thing.
Like
both people have like biological challenges, like men and women. Men can have a problem that if their dick starts thinking, they can't think. Right? They can't use their brain. You have two brains and one is in your dick, and the blood flow only goes to one. I don't know which comedian said that joke, but I loved it. Right? So the if blood flow goes to your dick, there isn't much you can do about it. Right? However, you can train yourself to control it and hold over it, but by that time you would have made your mistakes. Right? For women, it's pretty much the same, but the difference is that because women mature quicker than men. And they use their tools, their biological and mental tools, faster and develop them more maturely than men. And that would give them an edge. But in no way is the biology easier to handle. They just mature quicker, or are forced to, at least.
How about like disregarding how fast they mature, like a woman at the end of developmental cycle and a man at the end? I'm pretty sure we all already know the answer.
I think that would depend. That would depend because you can have men that are super toxic at that age because they didn't fuck enough or something, and you can have women who are like super wise or super bitter, and it just matters on which direction they took. Honestly, I can't point a finger to one aspect or another. It really depends. It's very situational. That's why I'm like the biological challenge. It depends on how well the person handled it. There's no way to otherwise do it.
I think it's 50-50. 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 I think it's 50-
On that note, though, we are on our 2-hour mark. We did hit our time limit. So, you guys know the drill by now. Shout outs and all that crap.
Okay.
Shout out first.
As always, shout out to Darkrai Q8. Have to subscribe to the homie. I love how that's become a trend that like every stream for like the past 10 streams we've been giving that same shout out. He hasn't even been in the stream. So yeah, we need to get him back. That's my only shout out today. Shout out to the Democrats impeachment. Woo! And the Republicans.
Yes.
I don't know who's dumber in this situation. The Democrats for pushing it or the Republicans for entertaining it. The world may never know.
The world may never know. A question for the historians.
Always. It's always a question for the historians.
What about you, A-Rob Money?
A-Rob
Money? Shout out to A-Rap Money. That's how we do things. But really, shout out to the culture. Not like the culture. I mean the Facebook group.
You're still a part of that shit?
Yeah. I check it out every now and then because
I got booted, bro. I just signed in one day. I was
you would get no likes whenever you posted live stream links. I felt so bad, man.
I would get what?
You would post your live stream links every now and then in the group before the Salt Grinder, like the end of the Anime Law Season 3, and no one would comment or like the posts. It was.
Well, that's because I never commented in the group, and then it was after like Jotun left too, and everyone. So it's like everyone that like helped make that. You
were around for that. Everyone basically booed Jotun out of the group.
Which is bullshit because he was the one who made it. We're not the one.
I think I was a part of that group for like a week before they booted me. I used to. I entered that Facebook group and. First thing I did, the second I entered, I wrote a hymn, Mangakas aren't writers, and everybody attacked me. And then a week later, I got banned from the group. It was fucking brilliant. They couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle the logic. I think the second post with that Berserk wasn't that good, and people attacked me for that too.
Honestly, if you want to know, it's like the same group of 20, 30 people that's been talking in these groups for the past like 7-8 years, ever since the first year. It's still the same. There's like 600-700 members, but still the same 20 or 30 people that talk in it.
So I was gonna say, I remember I remember the original J Room at one point, the J Room, and then the J Room revived or whatever.
And then there was 1.5 RE, like the Kingdom Hearts one.
Yeah, so fucking weird. I don't know, but they all had like thousands of members, and it was just the same people. And I'm convinced that they just added people, and a lot of people were like, "What the fuck?" But it was Facebook, and people barely use Facebook, so they're like, "I don't know how to get out of this. Just turn off notifications, and I'll be fine." Then every once in a while you sign in and you're like, wow,
it is
5,900.
Which isn't a good thing to say. I'm not proud of it. I'm just too lazy to go through and grab articles from Google and cross-reference. I just read whatever people post in that Facebook group.
No, I just quit the entire article business. I if it doesn't come to me orally, I just don't bother with it. Or somebody texts me the thing. I just let other people do the work for me, and I just quit Facebook, Instagram, all that crap. Now I'm my own man. I only use YouTube.
I mean, it's like I want to get rid of it, but it's like I gotta have stuff to talk about when I'm on here,
Yeah, you won't get it from a Facebook post. Trust me. That's not where we get it from.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of where I get it from.
Well, social media is a good place to start, and then you should do your due diligence and go find it.
YouTube channels and
that's what I did. I just
subscribe to YouTube channels, and then you don't even have to follow social media.
Subscribe to Franco, man.
On that note, guys, thanks. Oh shit! No.
Here's your host, Killer Keemstar. Okay. Let's get right into the news.
On that note, we have to say farewell to everybody. Remember, this is the customary part where we say "fuck,"
shit,
pussy,
Cunt.
cunt.
Stop repeating what I say.
Okay.
Copy pussy.
Wang.
Schlong.
Cereal. I don't know.
What? Honey Nut Cheerios. What?
Thank you guys for coming. Same time next week, etc., etc. We'll see you guys in the next one.
We're about to get striked by Honey Nut Cheerios, bro. That
Please
high
go out,
cholesterol.